So
right.
We'll be okay.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, brother.
You too. Thank you.
All right, man. Okay, you too. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Talent. So, Jimmy, we're learning that, I don't know whether it's absolutely confirmed. Today, Donald Trump is going to announce at least one appointment, and I'm hearing that Jeff Sessions is the guy for the Attorney General spot. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I've had 3 or 4 people send me that story, and I think that's very logical. Jamie, I did want to be certain to say that these attacks, that he's not moving fast enough. Ari Fleischer tweeted out some information about past administrations, and it was consistent with my recollection that most of these administrations haven't really started rolling people out till after Thanksgiving. So this idea that he's behind times or something is ridiculous. I mean, they're moving through this. It is a difficult and often chaotic process because, unfortunately, we don't really leave newly elected presidents enough time to put an administration together, but I think he's on schedule, and that's what I've heard about Jeff Sessions.
Well, David Axelrod had to tweet out, hey, people, calm down. I mean, newly elected President Obama didn't have any appointments by now either.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, typically, and this is just my recollection. I've not gone back, but I've been around for a number of these, and it makes perfect sense that you need a couple days to recover from the election, and then the Thanksgiving Day holiday is sort of a natural rhythmic break. And then after that, you begin announcing people. Now, Mr. Trump may very well do things before then. He does things his own way, but he's certainly not behind schedule. And I'm glad that actually Axelrod said that. It's good he's telling the truth.
No doubt about it. I mean, because this is so crazy how the media keeps. I mean, we were subjected to all these stories about fake news and this, and talk about fake news. That's fake news right there. Reporting that Trump, the chaos of Trump.
Exactly, and people have to remember the schedule, and this is just it's because originally, Jamie, presidents weren't inaugurated till March the 4th. Okay. And which coincided with the end of the last session of the last Congress. So there actually was a regular lame duck session. This is how it was until like the 30s. Okay, so you had an extra month and a half to put your administration together. Now they got to do it in about 80 days, and 2 holidays intervene. So it's always turbulent, and it always gives the appearance that it's not organized. That doesn't mean it isn't. It isn't organized. It just means that. And I think Trump is the kind of guy who probably thrives in an environment where he's got a lot of different inputs and things coming at him, and he sorts through it and does it. And that's how I see this happening. And can I say something else too about the Bannon thing?
No, you can't.
Well, yes, I'm asking the boss. It's your show.
Yes, okay. Yes, you can.
Look, I studied this stuff for Romney. And I'm going to get into a little bit of it's real, but political science. And there's 2 different models for the top staff people around the president. The one is to have an absolute dictator type. The other is to have 2 or 3 people around him who can work together and who all have lines into the president, but they're collegial.
Yeah.
The second model is the better model. The first model failed in the second Reagan administration with Don Regan. It failed in the Bush 1 administration with John Sununu. Both those guys had to be fired. So now he's got Reince, and he's got Bannon, and he's got Kellyanne. And I like that. I mean, I don't know Steve Bannon. I've been reading about him. He seems fine to me. But he's going to have several different lines in, but there are people who are used to working there because they did in the campaign. It makes perfect sense.
Well, interestingly enough, too, regarding Bannon, that's another target of the news media and others who have yet to come up with one piece of evidence that this guy is a white supremacist or whatever. And even the Anti-Defamation League had to come out and say, we don't think he's anti-Semitic. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, it's like, what more does it take than the words from the Anti-Defamation League, for crying out loud?
There's a reference on Instapundit, which I like to look through. It's one of my favorite aggregators, to some comments Bannon made at a Vatican conference 3 years ago when he was talking about capitalism, the good forms of it, and the forms of it that have sort of that have been very unfair to people and have taken our culture away from its values. It's very intelligent. It's very deep, and I'd encourage people to look at that. Now, again, I don't know the man. I just know, obviously, the website that he runs. But this was very encouraging. This guy seems to me like a pretty deep thinker.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you're right about that triad that he has around him. Now, what about you? Are you, because at one point your name was mentioned as having a role in the administration. Has anything advanced for you in that category?
Well, I mean, there's a lot in the press talking about me, and I liked and said at the time very much like the President-elect's defense plan and intend to support it inside or outside of government. Obviously, that's up to him. And I told you, I'd like the chance to be part of work with for a president who wants to rebuild the military. But this is, he's got to make these choices, and he's working through them. And that's. I don't have really anything to add beyond that, Jamie. I mean,
okay.
It's been in the press, and we'll see. I don't know what their timetable is. I'm going to support that defense plan, whether I'm inside or outside, though. I'll tell you that.
Have you been to Trump Tower?
No, I have not.
But you don't have to necessarily go there to be part of future administration, right?
No. I mean, he can do whatever he wants to do. So,
right.
I mean, we'll see, man. I mean,
All right.
You'll know when I know, or at least if they let me tell you. I mean, these kinds of communications need to come from the transition of who they're considering and why and the rest of it. And I also believe this. When he said, I'm the only one who really knows everything that's happening, I absolutely believe that.
Boy, that's for sure.
I mean, I think because he's getting a lot of input from a lot of people and sorting it through in his mind.
Yeah. All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see Jim Talent. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll, I guess, will you be on with us next week? Oh, well, wait, he's normally on Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
So it's Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
so we'll miss a date with you, but